Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, guests will be soaring to new destinations in 2026. Make-A-Wish made a big Halloween splash for kids. Parkside Market has some changes.
A possible glimpse of new nighttime entertainment, a special overnight event. We talk about our latest trip and more. DL Weekly starts now.
This is your captain speaking to you from the wheelhouse. I'd like to welcome all of you aboard the DL Weekly podcast. For safe passage on our trip, please do not sit or climb on the outside railings. And be sure to watch your children. The water can be unpredictable in these parts, and we'd sure hate to lose any of you.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of October 29th, 2025. I'm Teresa Urban.
And I'm Tag Bushman. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show. This week, we would like to give a special shout out to Michelle G. and Ed E. for becoming new weekly tiers, and Jillian E. and Liberty M. for continuing to support. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, which has a lot of great things, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and a bunch of other perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now, let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tag and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
Next year is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. As part of the celebration, Disney has announced that a new version of Soarin' will be coming to the parks. Soarin' Across America will premiere at Disneyland and Walt Disney World next summer. The new version will highlight some of the country's natural beauty and the city landscapes. More than a dozen locations will be featured.
So I am cautiously optimistic about this one because everybody, I think, could agree that the original Soarin' over California was wonderful.
Yes.
And of course, when they expanded to Epcot and other locations around the world, we got Soarin' Around the World, which some people, it's their favorite Soarin'. Some people, it's not their favorite Soarin'. So I'm interested to see how this ends up for the Soarin' over America. I think it's super interesting to me, or across America, I should say, Soarin' across America. And I think it'll be interesting to see like what they pick and all the different places that we'll go and see. Because obviously one of the things about America that's really cool is that we do have a lot of natural beauty.
Yeah.
And we also have some really, in depending on how you define this, beautiful like cityscapes as well.
Sure. I think the thing that was so fun about this was the announcement, because it was none other than Patrick, our favorite flight attendant, that made the announcement on social media, which I'm assuming also is a very good indication that he is reprising his role as the chief flight attendant again. Maybe he's been promoted and he's...
Do you think they'll record a new one, or do you think they'll continue to use the same Soarin' thing because it's kind of generic at this point?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say Soarin' Around the World, he just says Soarin'.
That's true.
Yeah, we all love Patrick.
But yeah, I
Chief
thought
flight
that was a
attendant.
very fun way for them to announce this. Or maybe we'll have a special Muppet appearance and Sam Eagle can also be an assistant chief flight attendant with Patrick.
To have Muppets in anything. Oh my goodness.
100%.
Oh, we didn't get a chance to see World of Color while we were there with the Muppet stuff. But man, I was a little sad about that. But anyway, Muppets, everything. Don't say this to me, Teresa.
Maybe we'll like will it into existence. Who knows?
All right. Well, speaking of things up in the sky, Southern Californians have been looking to the skies to get a glimpse of new possibilities coming to Disney nighttime entertainment. Recent drone testing in Santa Clarita, California has shown Disney characters from Peter Pan to Moana to Sorcerer Mickey and more. Disney and ABC Studios own 2 lots on the Golden Oak Ranch where this testing is speculated to have been taking place. To see what has been tested, check out the link in our show notes.
I can't handle how cool this is. I think the most difficult thing for me was these tests were happening mere miles from where we were, because we were in California when they were doing this. Obviously, we weren't in Santa Clarita, but we were so close to, I just can't imagine how cool this would have been if you would have been somebody either that lived in the area or was driving by, and all of a sudden you look over and there's a Sorcerer Mickey hat illuminating in the sky. Like, It looks really, really cool. Of course, there's tons of speculation online already, but there's nothing official from Disney as to what this was all about. We don't even know if this is something for Disneyland or if this is something for Disney World, but whatever it is, it looks cool. The thing I think that blew my mind the most, I'm curious what your thoughts were because you've actually seen a Disney drone show. But the thing that blew my mind the most was at one point in the, well, spoiler alert if you don't want to know anything about it. Spoiler alert if you don't want to
skip
hear
ahead,
it. Skip
30
ahead.
seconds.
Is at one point, so we see different like characters come to life and kind of fly across the sky in different images from different films. But the thing that was wild to me was it looked like the mirror in The Little Mermaid, where like Ursula is like talking to herself. So it's almost, it was like that. Like, it was like they made the drones into a screen and you saw like Ursula come to life through like the screen. It was almost like you were watching, I don't know, like the animated
It's like Fantasmic
version.
where it's on water,
Yes.
but it's in a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually had not watched this today, and I have never seen a drone show that does, because it literally looks like a screen.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
So that is super cool, because all the drone stuff I've seen has just been, the drones will change different colors, so it'll look
Yeah.
like different things, and there's been some things that look pretty cool.
So like this is like the stingray, the Grammatala stingray flying through the sky. You're looking at the genie right now. You know, it's like the drones become the things and are animated, but I've never seen them do that projection type thing. That's wildly cool.
I have been hoping for a long time that Disneyland would get a drone show, because the drone show I saw in Paris was amazing, and I know that people living around Disneyland probably get tired of hearing the fireworks, and I love fireworks, do not get me wrong, I love fireworks. But if on nights where they, like right now, when they don't do fireworks, like during the week, they could still do drones, and I'd be totally happy with that. And even if the drones replaced actual fireworks, I would also be happy with that. It's better for the environment in a lot of ways. It's better for noise for people around the area to kind of be a better neighbor to everybody. What I've heard of the reason why Disney wouldn't do this is the fact of if any crash, like it's going to crash into a neighborhood or on the highway or something,
yeah.
unlike Paris where it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I've also heard that like they are loud because they make like a drone noise. And I'm thinking to myself, how is this even close to the amount of noise that like a firework makes, you know? So lots of things. Hopefully we'll see something come to either Disneyland or Disney World of this. It looks really great. To me, it looks like they're a lot further than like initial testing, because there's like full formed like characters and stuff. So they just need to combine all this together and add some music. Maybe, well, I guess it wouldn't be next year because they'll probably continue to have the same fireworks show. Maybe this is testing for the 75th.
Maybe.
I mean, that's a long time from now, but maybe.
They got to make it perfect. I don't know. I just think it's very cool and very exciting. No matter what this was for, you know, I just think it's really cool. Well, something interesting that we learned when we were visiting is that Sip and Sonder, the coffee shop that was part of Parkside Market, had closed, and in its place, Parkside Market Coffee and Tea has now opened. The location features hot coffee and cold coffee and tea drinks, along with pastries, savories, breakfast bites, cinnamon rolls of different flavors. Yum. This was crazy because day one, we went in and I was all excited because I wanted to go get a coffee from Sip and Sonder because we were just doing the afternoon in downtown Disney. And we walked over and there was just this little generic sign that said that Sip and Sonder was closed for today. And I was like, oh, well, that's a bummer, and didn't really think of anything of it. And then for the meetup, I was like, oh, perfect. I'll grab a coffee for our midday meetup at Sip and Sonder because I hadn't tried it yet. And went down there, same little sign, still closed for the day. And then by the end of the week, it was Parkside Market Coffee. It was kind of wild.
I think we talked about this. Yeah, we talked about it probably on last week's discussion. But it was just that whole setup for Parkside Market was different than I thought it was going to be. And the fact that there wasn't the coffee shop. The thing that was weird was it's not like in a mall food court where like cages come down to block. It was like a fully set up coffee shop but no one was there.
The lights are turned off.
Yeah, it was very weird. And knowing that Teresa likes coffee and knowing how much people like coffee, I was surprised at like what happened. I think there's a story here somewhere that we just don't know about yet.
We had heard from listeners that came to the meetup that, you know, it was kind of it was overpriced. Sip and Sonder was a little bit overpriced and it wasn't that good. And, you know, like that kind of thing. So it just wasn't a very popular option, wasn't a very good fit from the sounds of it. But I do like that they are keeping this as a coffee shop and then they're just kind of generically doing their own thing, calling it the Parkside Market coffee. You know,
why can't they bring Joffrey's? Probably because Starbucks would get banned, maybe.
I don't know, because Joffrey's, the cappuccino cart in Disney California Adventure, is Joffrey's.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good question.
But I just wonder, well, I mean, I guess Starbucks is also in the park, but like, I just wonder if it was a situation where Starbucks was like, if we're going to move into downtown Disney, we're the only coffee shop.
Yeah, I don't know. But same thing with because think of Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World has Starbucks locations and Joffrey's coffee. So I don't know.
I feel like we need more Joffrey. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know. But I feel like Joffrey's is kind of like the official coffee of Disney.
Yes. I feel like we need a little bit more Joffrey's representation over in Disneyland for sure.
Well, last week while we were in the park, we were able to catch a glimpse of Disney's partnership with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This time, they partnered with some of the world's top creators to grant wishes for 40 kids at the Ultimate Halloween Experience. 16 kids met Mr. Beast, who is an online personality on YouTube. If you have younger people, you'll know who Mr. Beast is, with a scavenger hunt through the parks. A for Adley hosted a play date with crafts, Disney dolls, and Rainbow Ghost Rescue, which is their own custom game. Mark Rober, who does a lot of science stuff, I actually knew who this was. I also knew who Mr. Beast was, to be fair. Dropped eggs off the Millennium Falcon to teach families how to make contraptions to save their eggs from cracking. So think about like when you were in middle school, high school, and you were protecting your egg. This is actually where we saw that this was happening because James had texted me. It was our day that we all split up from each other, and James said they're filming something back here, and I was like, well, yeah, nowadays it seems like they're filming stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that. I went back there and I was like, that's Mark Rober, because I watched some of his science videos. Anyway, Chef Omri Gouchon did a live chocolate making demo. Dr. Mike, I'm very sad I missed him because I also watch him. Dr. Mike built a lightsaber with a Make-A-Wish kid, and Stan and Colby rode Haunted Mansion. Disney partners with Make-A-Wish to grant one wish every hour of every day.
Absolutely wild. So Vern and I just happened to, we didn't know what was going on, but we happened to be at the castle and saw that there was quite a lot of stuff going on over by Snow White's wishing well, and we kind of went over to like peek to see what was going on, because this was also the day that this was Friday of our trip, so this was the day that the stage was set for the holiday special filming that would be happening overnight that night. And there were little signs that were posted everywhere that said like, you know, don't be in this area if you don't want to be filmed or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's weird that they put these up so early, thinking again ahead to tonight. So I was looking down there thinking, oh, are they starting to film like little intros or stuff for the holiday special? And then all I saw was a bunch of the blue Make-A-Wish t-shirts. And as I'm like, oh, it's a Make-A-Wish thing, that's cute, like security was coming over because we apparently had lingered too close to the fence for too long, which was like a half a second, and we were like 5 feet from the fence, so we were not really even being all that nosy, and they were already like swooping in to be like, move along. But then, yeah, later that day, we're like, oh, Mr. Beast was back there with those Make-A-Wish kids. So that's cool that it was the end of a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
But the other really neat thing that they did was that night they had a big Halloween party. So it was almost like their own miniature Oogie Boogie Bash, because they even had some of the villains come out from Oogie Boogie Bash. They had trick-or-treating. They had Cars Land to themselves for the evening. I thought just super, super fun. I think it's so cool when they do these things, and it was really cool to be at the parks the same time it was happening, because we report on these things so often, and I always kind of wonder, like, how does this work for the regular park day guests? And literally no impact, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we didn't even know it was
whatsoever.
happening for the most part. If we wouldn't have bumped into these random things.
And, like, even when we did bump into it, so, like, the Mr. Beast thing, they literally only had that right side of the castle with Snow White's wishing well was blocked off, which not that big of a like not a horrible
Impediment
thing.
to
Yeah, it
everybody.
didn't really like mess with our day. It all just kind of made us go, oh, what's going on over there? And then same thing, like you got to see like some of the parachute dropping things happening in Galaxy's Edge, but most of that, the event itself, it looked like took place backstage where they were creating their little contraptions to protect their eggs and like making little parachutes so that it fell softly. And then same thing with DCA, they just put up the fake little walls back by the Hyperion Theater, because I was over in DCA that morning, if you remember. And so I saw that they had those fake bush wall things up, and I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, those weren't there the other day, and just kept walking about my day like nothing was going on. But that was what it was all for.
They did their job of making you not think about what was happening. In fact, in this one photo, here's that wall.
There's the wall.
Yeah. I think this is super interesting because I never would have considered until reading this article that there would be Make-A-Wish kids that like their wish would be to do something with these big creators. And since Disney has such a great relationship, why not have them come to a cool place like Disneyland to do all this stuff together? And so I think I'm really interested to see, because I'm sure all of these creators are going to have content that come out from this. So I'm really interested, because I only saw part of Mark Robert's thing. I'm really interested to see his video show up. I'm really interested to see the scavenger hunt with Mr. Beast, because I'm sure it's going to be a thing. We really enjoyed some of his YouTube videos are very, very outlandish, over the top. That's kind of like his thing, Mr. Beast. But we really enjoyed he had a Prime Video show that was a Mr. Beast thing. And it was actually really good, I thought, like really well produced. He talks about how much money they lost making it, but they're going to make another one, supposedly, because it was so entertaining. But anyway, it was cool that all these came, and I'm really glad that these kids got to meet the people they wanted to meet and got to have these wishes granted, because Make-A-Wish does such great work, and I'm so glad that Disney partners with them for this as well.
Well, last week, the Wonderful World of Disney Magical Holiday Celebration taped segments for the holiday special overnight. D23 members could register to attend the event, which ran from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Guests were treated to performances by Nicole Scherzinger singing Oh Holy Night and Mary Did You Know. Gwen Stefani performed her new holiday song, Shake the Snow Globe, and You Make It Feel Like Christmas.
So we have it linked in the show note. Some folks from Laughing Place were able to go and attend this because they're D23 members.
Yeah, they got tickets for it.
And they said it was kind of interesting. I liked reading the experience, because I would not have... So my thought when we saw this, and my thought that it was going to be, was you come in at 11, you'd stand in front of the castle, they do the thing like they did when the park was open that we saw for Christmas, which is they film the same song a bunch of times to get all the angles and dance moves and everything that they need. And then like you'd move on and do like the next thing with the people. And then like when all that was done, you'd go home. Right? That's what I thought it was. So did you read this story of how this all came down? So you checked in at 11, but you didn't really get to start doing anything till midnight.
I don't think they entered the parks until midnight, really.
Right. And then they ended up going to getting put in this area between Matterhorn and Alice for like a half an hour, just hanging out. And then they got taken back to It's a Small World, where there was another stage set up, and that's where they got their first performance. And so they did that for like however long it took for them to record that. After that, they got to go over to Tomorrowland Theater, where they were served snacks, breakfast sandwiches, coffee, juice, everything. And they watched the entire Muppet Christmas Carol movie, which you're like, well, that's interesting, which people were kind of surprised by. And then around 4:45 a.m., they were finally brought to Sleeping Beauty Castle, where they got Gwen Stefani. And around 6 a.m., finally, like, they were let out. But I didn't know that they were going to do like a movie in the middle. And like, I don't know. It's just, it's interesting how the process of this evening went.
Yeah. So it sounded like the movie time was for them to get things, do some behind the scenes type of stuff. Because when they finished the movie and went over to the stage in front of the castle there, Gwen Stefani and her like dancers were already out on the stage and like ready to go. So the person that wrote this article felt like, oh, they must have been over here practicing and like getting, kind of working their stuff out before the audience was brought over. I did think it was interesting. They did get some swag for participating in this, and it was all 70th branded stuff. I would have thought, I would have thought for sure it would have been a holiday. So it did sound like they had little, what they call them, like finger lights that they had for, at least I think it was for sure for Nicole Scherzinger's set, that they had little finger lights in the crowd that they got to use and play with. But yeah, I was really surprised that they were gifted a set of ears and an ornament, but both were 70th themed instead of holiday themed, which now I'm curious if the holiday special is going to have, if the Disneyland things are all going to be 70th, or if they're going to have everyone dressed in holiday attire for that.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see. It was pretty neat.
The other thing too is we had one of our community managers, Olivia, was in the parks on Saturday morning, and she actually caught, because both Nicole Scherzinger and I believe Gwen Stefani had a couple of performances that they did during the day in the parks as well. That, again, I don't know if they were just getting different angles or if they wanted one in the daytime and nighttime or whatever, but there was some filming going on still the next day. So that's a very long night, day, however you want to look at it, for those performers. So I'm really excited to see how the whole special comes out, since we got to be there to see the actual stages in place. And it was a little weird because, of course, the entire time we were there was snow on the castle. And then by the time we left, like, the castle had like a Winter Wonderland stage built in front of it. So it was a little like weird since we're there celebrating Halloween.
Yeah.
But cool to be there the day that they were going to be doing all those things.
Well, speaking of holidays colliding, as Jack would say, Halloween is almost here, but the holiday season is quick to move on at the Disneyland Resort. 2025 holiday merchandise has arrived all over the resort. Some of the collections this year are the Mickey Mouse Family Christmas Collection, the Gingerbread Collection, the Snowman Trent Collection, the Winter Scenic Collection, the Disney Hanukkah Collection, the Disney Holiday Haven Collection, the Disney Winter Peppermint Collection, the Disney Fair Isle Print Collection, and finally, the Disney Christmas Plaid Collection. There's a lot of collections of holiday stuff.
My goodness. So they had some stuff when we were there at the beginning of the week, and then apparently as we were leaving, a whole bunch more stuff showed up, because a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing in this Mice Chat article, I did not see in stores when we were there, which is pretty wild. And the things that I did see when we were there aren't even in this article. That's crazy how much stuff just kind of popped up overnight. But, you got to get the stuff out so that people can get it. Did you see that there's a new like gingerbread and Mickey snowman thing?
Oh, I like the Mickey snowman.
For your build your own ears plush things.
I did not. I bought Chip and Dale this trip, but not the ear band. So I put it on the fanny pack that I had, and that worked out really well.
They started doing this new thing. I see that they have it here in like the holiday collection too. Holy cow, I'm not even like a fraction of the way through this article, and it felt like I was scrolling for days. Right here, they've got these new sweatshirts that I noticed this trip that I really actually quite liked, but I couldn't pick which ones. They're all hooded sweatshirts. They have a nice Disneyland Resort embroidered moment going on, like kind of towards the mid, and then at the top there's different things. I saw things like there was a Mickey premium bar with a bite taken out of it. They look like oversized patches, these, and kind of like have like a, like your Letterman jacket at like for a high school house. It's got that kind of like not fuzzy, but that like texture on it. It's like that, but this giant thing. So they've got one here for it's a Mickey Santa hat with ears. I also saw a Mickey pumpkin that was on one of them, and they were really cool. It was one of those, I couldn't decide which one I wanted, but I really appreciated the quality of it, because it was, instead of it just being, just generically screen printed something, I'm really liking that they're leaning into the more tactile, like the more, I don't know, not tactile, but the more, whatever you want to call a thing. I find them more interesting.
Variations,
like the
stuff,
embroidery
materials.
And the patches, and I like it. Just seems like it makes your $70 sweatshirt feel a bit more worth $70.
Sure. I really enjoyed the Halloween shirt that I bought last year. Had not only like a screen print kind of thing, but also the embroidered stuff.
Yeah, it's like
I wish they'd do more embroidered, because what happens with the screen print stuff is some of them, not all of them, but some of them like get worn as time goes on when you put them in the wash and stuff. And I know that some people are probably going to write in and say stuff like, well, maybe you should hand wash it and all this. And it's like, but nobody's got time for that. So yeah, there's some really cool stuff in here. And you're right. You could scroll down. If you click the link in our show notes, Mice Chat has quite the long, just it seems to go on forever, of all the holiday merch that they have.
It's literally, it's never ending. This is crazy. And again, the thing that's just bonkers to me, we were there and all this stuff popped up.
Yeah, just a few days ago.
Just like in the last couple of days. That's adorable. Okay, there's a Bauble Bar Minnie Mouse gingerbread headband that's super duper cute.
I like that. That's a headband I would buy.
It's a headband that has 2 little Mickey snowmen on them.
Here's that
Very
Letterman
cute.
jacket kind of thing. It's in a shape of a Mickey.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it.
Peppermint swirl throw pillow.
But I like the texture of it.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of good things to choose from.
I wish I would have seen this wreath. I would have got that too.
No. Oh my gosh, look at the peppermint collection too. Do
you like the fact that they're breaking merch now up into collections? Because I kind of do.
I kind of do too, but then it almost makes it kind of overwhelming because you've got that many different Spirit jerseys and that many different, like, instead of just, I don't know, it just feels like there's a much higher volume than there was. Maybe that's just me.
What is this, Teresa? Have you seen these before?
They did have this Christmas plaid selection out, and I really liked these sweatshirts too because it had like a plaid fabric that they cut the letters out and then embroidered the letters. And I really liked that.
Have you seen something like this before where it's got like a pouch on the side of your tumbler?
Yeah. I have seen those.
What do you put in that? It's like you put your phone and
you could like
stuff?
put your wallet or whatever in it, your cards.
I like the plaid collection quite a bit.
Stuff that you didn't have then, so you don't have just stuff that you don't want to also have to hang on to.
Okay.
Think of it like a pocket.
I found something that I'm
this.
personally offended by.
Why are you offended by
This Mickey Mouse icon quilted jacket for women I think is god awful.
I just found something more adorable. It's this little Winnie the Pooh sweater,
adorable.
and he's like tangled up in the Christmas lights. So cute.
Anyway, we can move on.
There's like holiday stuff, but there's also just winter apparel and stuff too.
Ooh, did you see these
adorable.
deer ear hats?
Too many good things.
Well, good thing we aren't going back for a little bit. What is this? The 12-day mini Star
good
Wars
thing we're not going back.
miniature legacy lightsaber hilts collection
Look at
countdown
that.
calendar. What?
Do you see this little R2H25? It's a little like candy cane version of the droid.
Oh, they have Life Day ears now.
This is adorable.
Teresa, they have Muppet Christmas Carol countdown calendar.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why I said we should stop scrolling, and now I just keep scrolling, Okay, we're done. We're done.
Lots and lots of good things to choose from.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I am Groot.
What do you mean you're hungry? Kraglin needs those pots for the rehydrator. We don't have time for snacks.
I am Groot.
Were you talking to Tag and Teresa again? How'd they even get a hold of you?
I am Groot.
Fine. One snack. That's it.
I am Groot.
No, I haven't seen any churros. You gotta talk to Vern. And stop smiling.
Welcome to a very special Churro Talk with Vern, where we're going to talk about the churros that I enjoyed on our most recent vacation to Disneyland and are hopefully still available for you to try out on your next trip to Disney. Tag, Teresa, are you excited to hear a recap of everything that I just enjoyed?
I mean, I've
We got
actually
to
been
enjoy
waiting for
some
this.
of them too.
True, I mean, I did share, so you'll be able to jog my memory of anything that I forget to talk about on these. So.
But also, you said a very special Churro Talk with Vern, and I feel like all the Churro Talks with Vern are special.
Well, of course, every Churro Talk with Vern is a very special thing, but
Yeah.
this one is extra special because it's been a while. And so for regular listeners, they're excited to hear about a new Churro Talk.
Gotcha.
And for new listeners, this is their first Churro Talk.
True.
So it's even more extra special.
Well, let's get to the churros.
Let's get to some churros. So the first one that I tried out on this most recent visit was the citrus churro with blueberry lemon sauce that I got at the Castle Churro Cart. This one was an orange sugar coating on a classic churro and served with a blueberry lemon sauce on the side. Now, this one, not one of my favorite churros, I'm not going to lie. The orange sugar coating on it was a little misleading because it tricked the brain into expecting an orange flavor, but it was just a citrus flavor, like just kind of generically citrus, like more of like a lemon lime.
That's disappointing.
Right. So it got to the taste buds, and I was expecting orange because I was seeing orange, and I'm like, oh, that's just citrus. Okay. And then the blueberry sauce itself was kind of thin, and it didn't really stick to the churro very well.
Kind of, yeah. No, it was.
Okay, yeah, I'm being very generous. It was dripping off. so you had to really play a balancing game of like trying to make a blueberry balance on there and try to like keep the sauce from dripping off, and so like to make the sauce carry the weight of making the churro have flavor really wasn't. It was a task to make it all work together. So, overall, it was a tasty enough churro, because it's not like there's such a thing as a bad churro, but overall,
unless you're Marie is very anti-churro.
Well, sure. Some people just don't like churros, but if you're a churro fan like myself, it's not like there's such a thing as a bad churro. So, it was a tasty churro, but not one that I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 to a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that one, I traveled over to Tomorrowland, where I tried the chocolate churro with creamy peanut butter dipping sauce. And this one was pretty darn good. It was a chocolate sugar with creamy peanut butter sauce, and if you like Reese's, you will love this churro. They had a nice thick sauce that coated it really well, and you couldn't really overdo it. It just kind of gave it a nice thick coating of the sauce over the churro, blended well with the sugar coating on the churro itself. An excellent churro. Gave it a solid 4 out of 5. I will have it again.
I liked this, the one little taste I had of Vern's that I got my own a little bit later in the trip. And the only thing I will say about dipping churros, and I don't think it's just this churro, but most churros,
sure,
is because of the coating that isn't like firmly stuck to the churro, when you go to dip, sometimes just the coating comes off into the dip and you don't get your dip. So it's a little bit challenging there, but I agreed with you that I thought that this was very reminiscent of a Reese's like peanut butter cup or something like that. And I thought sometimes for me, peanut butter can be too much.
Sure.
And this I did not think was too much peanut butter.
I enjoyed this one too. I tasted all of the churros I think that Vern tried throughout our trip, and I agree that first churro, not my favorite. I wasn't as put off by the just generic citrus flavors as you were, but I was kind of not excited about the consistency of the dip. It was more of a like drizzle because it was very liquidy, and that's another thing that's tough. But the chocolate peanut butter churro did a good job with this. It was a good consistency for the dip. Yeah. So it wasn't too thick, because I'm thinking about that peanut butter one you and I got a while back that was like
solid.
It was like trying to dip it in like a jar of peanut butter, but actually a little bit more dense than that. So that was too solid, but then we had this other one that was too runny, but this one, this chocolate peanut butter one, just right. Yeah. As far as dip consistency goes for the churros.
Yes, definitely it hit right in that sweet spot. Yeah.
And what's our final churro?
Our final churro for tonight, but not the final churro of the trip. We will be back for more. The Strawbatty churro from the Churros Near Haunted Mansion. This was a chocolate sugar coating on a strawberry jam-filled churro with a cream cheese frosting. This one also came with a little chocolate bat balanced on top of it to give it, really that little bit of extra chocolate, and also just to, that little bit for the eyes to really gaze upon and enjoy. It was good. It was very tasty, but I expected more. The strawberry by itself, it wasn't that thick of a jam. It didn't really bring that much to the table. and the one little piece of chocolate didn't really lend much flavor. It was more of just like a thing to look at, and it
Decorative.
it was decorative. It didn't really add to the taste experience. The cream cheese drizzle, it just didn't really boost things a lot. I feel like if they had done a drizzle of chocolate sauce in addition to the cream cheese drizzle or instead of the cream cheese drizzle, that could have really boosted it and carried the weight of creating more flavor. But just having it just felt like they didn't go far enough, So, I mean...
So what Vern's saying, he wanted more.
Yeah, I mean, I would eat it again. It was not bad. It was definitely an enjoyable churro eating experience, but I'm giving it like a 3 out of 5. It was tasty enough. I'd eat another one if you bought me one, or if I'm around and I'm hungry, but not anything that I'm rushing back to the park because I have to have it.
I do think we need to take a moment, because during this trip, we kind of redefined, I guess, our scale. So we're using a 1 to 5 scale when we're rating things. But we decided that 5 is like, what would we say? Like life-changing.
Yes.
So 5s are going to be pretty dang rare. So don't think like 3 maybe sounds like, oh, maybe it's a pass. No, 3's like it's solid. Like it's good.
Yep.
I'd get it again, but I don't feel like I have to get it again.
Yes.
It's enjoyable. Whereas like when you get into 4s, 4.5s, those are the like.
Yeah.
Yes.
My follow-up question, though, Vern, is I don't remember, so you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong or tell me some more details. Is this the first time they've had a stuffed churro or a filled churro?
To my memory, and I mean, this is only based on my experiences, but I don't recall having a stuffed churro before.
I don't remember ever reporting on one, but we've reported on a lot of food.
Right.
So it's hard for me to remember, but it was different.
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised when I noticed, stuffed churro. I don't recall having had this before. So that was definitely branching out for them, and I feel, okay, when they're getting into this is a new path that they're going down. Maybe they're just experimenting, and they'll, start playing around a little more, and this was like just the first attempt of, well, okay, how far is this strawberry jam actually going to carry the weight of things? So I'm excited to see, where it will take from there. Definitely.
The other thing I enjoyed about it, and I only had a bite of it, was sometimes with any type of berry thing, sometimes it can be very, I don't know if it's like rich or tart, or it's very just forward.
Sure.
And this one did not. This seemed balanced well, where it wasn't like when I bit in the churro, it wasn't like strawberry in my face.
True. And yeah, certainly, I mean, to each their own on what they expect out of your level of balance. When I see strawberry in the title, I'm expecting strawberry on my taste buds. But for others, you want a little more balance. You want that strawberry to be tamed down a little more. So really, maybe you would have given it more of a 4 than the 3 that I gave it. So
I still think I gave it lower because I agreed with you with like everything that wasn't just the churro, like the topping and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like it needed something else.
Yeah, just that cream cheese wasn't quite doing it. It was there and it was tasty. I really feel that maybe just a little chocolate or just something. It just feels like they gave up when they were close.
I liked your idea of adding a chocolate drizzle.
Yeah.
I also, just to be silly, to harken back to our trip, if we were on a scale of 10, it'd probably be a 6, 7.
Oh, definitely. Definitely 6, 7.
No.
Vern and I were taking back from the youths.
Yes.
The youths?
The youth.
The youths, because we're the olds. But
what is it? What is that Steve Buscemi thing that was like, hello, fellow young people or something like that? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
so we're taking it from them so they'll stop doing it.
One can hope.
But we had a lot of fun. Fun fact, the last row of the splash vehicles, the number is 6-7 because it is one molded piece of metal in the ground. So if there's youths out there listening to this and they want to 6-7 it up, Tiana's Bio Adventure.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
6-7 it up, huh?
6-7 it up.
Man, oh man. Oh, well, I think that includes Churro Talk with Vern for this week.
Yes, come back next week to hear about the other 4 that we have coming for you. Or maybe I'll get a chance to have 6 or 7 more.
Oh, now you done it.
I will say,
open the floodgates.
I will say that there is a churro that Vern has not talked about yet that was fantastic. So
Yes.
that's a teaser for next time.
That is actually the next one coming up. That is
There
the
you go.
one that we scored a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh.
Taking it just a half a point below the one that I've always put as the pedestal of the best of the best.
life-changing
Which
one.
was what?
Longtime listeners will remember the controversial
Oh, no.
but still my favorite ever, the chili cheese churro that I got at Willie's Churro Cart in Disney California Adventure.
I will also say there was a pretzel that was kind of like that, and Vern was like, no.
I'm not.
I'm surprised you didn't try
I
the
do
pretzel.
churros. I don't do pretzels.
Yeah, we're not pretzel talk with Vern.
Yes, this is churro talk with Vern, not pretzel talk with Vern.
I'm just saying you ate a lot of other things that were not churros.
I did have a jalapeno pretzel. I dipped my toe in the pretzel pool, but I am not a pretzel. I am a churro guy.
Got it.
I'm the churro guy.
I'm
You
also
just didn't enjoy the pretzel that you had.
I also would like to tease next week because Vern will talk about a dish that I think I saw his eyes roll back in his head. So teaser for next time. That won't be in Snack Chat.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it'll
we're
be-
talking dinner next week.
We're
Yeah.
talking
Oh,
dinner next
we can
week.
talk some dinner. I like dinner.
Yeah.
All right.
So
All right. Well, excellent. Well, thank you everybody for listening to Churro Talk with Vern. Come back next week for the remaining 4.
Well, calling all weekly tiers, we are once again doing our supporter holiday ornament exchange. If you're a supporter, head on over to the Discord chat, or there's also a link that will be posted on November 1st in Patreon to sign up and join in on the fun. Each participating weekly tier gets anonymously paired with another weekly tier, and ornaments are exchanged. At the end, we have a Zoom call where we all open them together to see the joy of the experience on everyone's face. If this sounds like fun to you, it is not too late. We are just starting signups now. If you go over to dlweekly.net/support, become a weekly tier, get in on the Discord, look out for that November 1st post on Patreon, and you can join. And it's always, this is my favorite weekly tier thing that our community does because everybody has such a fun
It is
time.
a lot of fun.
People get the coolest ornaments.
Mhm.
I always want everyone's ornaments. It is capped at a financial limit of like $30 per ornament.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to like break the bank trying to get like some fancy thing. But it's always a really fun time. And we'll end up doing the call for this in December.
Your attention, please. DL Weekly Trivia is now leaving for a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. All weekly tiers for...
Hello there. You've made it to Trivia Land. It's good to be back.
I mean, we were at Disneyland,
Yeah.
which is, I'm sorry, James, but a little cooler than Trivia
You never
Land.
took me to Trivia Land while we were at Disneyland. I'm devastated.
Mm.
Devastated.
We'll hear more about your experience and producer Vern's experience next week.
Yes.
For sure.
And I'm sure we have stories to share.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
But I also collected a lot of ideas for trivia questions while we were there, so I got some good ones to get started with. And I'm
Vern
sure
says he has 3 pages of notes.
that doesn't surprise me one bit. So I realized I have some pictures to go back to as well
Oh,
to add to the list
no.
even.
Oh.
So more
We
to
should have
come.
been taking our own pictures and research tag.
Yeah, why haven't you two been studying?
No, see, here's the thing: is I secretly am planning, and by
Oh.
secretly am planning, I mean I have not done any work for this.
Openly planning.
And,
But it-
and not
Yep.
secret anymore.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
in my brain, one of these days it's gonna be. Guess what, James and Vern? It's your turn, and I'm gonna come with some hard questions and decimate you.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Great. Well, we'll see how you do with my 4 questions this week for you.
He's like, let me dial up the difficulty level quick.
I mean, I could, right? All right. First question for you. What is the tower by Soarin named?
Oh, no. I don't know.
You said this, and my first thought was, "There's a tower by Soarin." Oh,
Yeah,
it used
yeah,
to be
yeah.
the rocket engine hanging there that now is like the lookout tower.
Yeah, it's like a lookout tower.
Is it?
was a rocket
Is it?
engine?
Yeah, because it was all themed to like aviation before that area.
Oh,
Because it was Grizzly Peak Airfield
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Okay, so
or still is, I guess, but it was just the airfield. So is it? I think it's related to one of the people that deals with the national parks. So like, there's like John Muir, something or other. But what is the overlook?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's John Muir because that is painted on the side of the bathroom, I want to say, or the building that's near the bathroom. So what is another like person who's about national parks? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm just going to call it Muir Overlook.
Muir Overlook.
Like
Excellent.
John Muir, yep.
I'm going to go with that too.
You're going to go with
You're
that
climbing
too.
up my tower?
Mm-hmm.
Riding your rocket that's no longer there.
Yeah, it used to spray like water drizzle off of it. Like it looked like it was like starting to
Steaming
take
or
off
something?
or steam. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that. All right, my second question for you. Can you tell me what signs are hung up in the forest where you meet the Cheshire Cat and the Alice in Wonderland attraction?
Oh, yeah. It's like this way or that way. Oh, gosh. I don't remember.
You were so confident.
I know, but
you
it's
got
like
two
this
in.
way, that way.
Yeah, that's
up,
the two I remember.
up. Is there like an up, down?
Probably.
They're all like flip-floppies.
I thought there was one that was like to the Queen or something like that. There was a Q
Could
in there
be.
somewhere.
You know what's embarrassing? I sat there and took a big old long video of this exact thing flip-flopping back and forth. This way, that way.
Did you do that with the camera?
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm excited to see what you do with it.
There's a lot of them, too.
How many are there, James?
There's technically 9. So I'll give you the hint that 2 of them are separate signs, but they should definitely be together.
Did you get this way, that way? That was the first thing, right?
Those were the,
Yes, we've said
those
that
were the confident too, yes.
like 3 times.
Sure, I was just
Up,
making sure because I was
down.
in my head.
Is there maybe like a left, right?
Maybe. That's all I got. Like my brain is empty.
Yeah. I can see it, but I'm trying to remember what the heck.
Yeah. It's a great effect.
Yeah. I can hear the music. Ooh, Alice.
The Cheshire Cat's just such a great example, right? So,
Yeah.
all right.
Tugly Wood. One of them says
Oh,
Tugly Wood.
there you go. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, then we'll move on to the third question. What is the name of the fort on Tom Sawyer Island?
Fort Wilderness.
What is it really? You know what? That was my gut, but then I'm like, no, that's a property at Walt Disney World. That's a resort.
I'm pretty sure it's Fort Wilderness. Now you're making me think that it's not Fort Wilderness. I think it's Fort Wilderness.
So, Tag, you're going Fort Wilderness.
Yeah.
Teresa, you also
I'm gonna go Fort Wilderness too.
trust in the gut, whether or not. All right. My last question. Put the toys and tools that the scary/vampire Teddy is holding in Haunted Mansion Holiday in order of appearance.
Okay, so the last one is live wires.
Oh, is this that round-headed thing with the teeth?
Yeah.
There are 5
Oh, no.
objects.
Second to last one's the live wires.
So
Because
he's
there's one like as you
Are
enter
we-
the crypt
yeah.
at the end.
So the first one that I remember is on the coffin, and he's got a hammer.
Yeah,
Isn't he
hammer,
nailing in
mhm.
stuff? Where else does he show up? Is he in the ballroom?
He's in with Madame Leota.
Oh, is he on the chair?
Yeah, but I don't know what he's got back there.
A bell? By ringing a bell.
Oh, yeah,
ding,
I think.
ding, ding,
yeah,
ding.
I think maybe there's a bell.
Okay. And then when you're coming down, he's chewing on the wires.
He's got a fishing pole with a spider on the end of it at the beginning.
Where's that at? Oh, like
As
where you're
going
loading?
up
Oh, okay.
before you get to the endless
See, I'm
hallway.
glad that you're remembering this. What is he at the end, though, next to
1,
the
2,
trumpeting
3,
guy?
4. I don't remember.
How many are there, James?
There are 5.
Okay.
He also does appear in the stretching room portraits, but that is not.
Oh,
counted
sure,
in this.
yeah.
So
I don't remember what he's got at the end.
Well, the big thing's got a trumpet thing. Does he have like a musical
No,
instrument
I don't-
coming out?
I don't think so. I feel like he's got like a bat, like something next to him, like a basket
Mm.
with stuff in it, but I don't know what it is.
I always pay too close attention to the other thing,
Yeah.
the like icicle
I'm gonna
ghost
say it's a
thing.
Basket with stuff in it, but I don't know what's in it. Okay,
I'm going to go with the trumpet because that's what I feel like I want to do. So we've diverged.
you've diverged. And I had planned to give you a list of the 5 objects for this question, but you two jumped right in and clearly didn't need a list. So
we would have gotten.
Oh, and then we had to put them in order. Was that the thing?
Yep, but you did it. Yeah.
Wait, we didn't put them in order.
Put them in order
Hang
for
on.
me.
Okay,
I
so
think you talked about them in order as it was.
Fishing pole was first. The bell. No, the hammer's third. Bell is second. Live wire's fourth. Basket or trumpet is fifth.
Yeah, I was like, you flew through that on your own anyway, so good job. Well done.
That's a good question.
There we go.
Thank you. I didn't know if you'd paid enough attention to that one or not. So, but here we are to tell you for sure if you know what the scary teddy is holding. We have to wait until after you two ramble on about our time in the parks together.
In the parks, yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Well, this week for our discussion topic, we are once again coming to you live from Disneyland.
We're recording this.
Well, we're recording live, but we're coming from the sort of. I mean, yeah, if you're downloading this, you're obviously not, it's not live. But yeah, we're at one of the spots that we've found recently that we really enjoy, which is up at the Main Street train station. It is dusk, would you say this is?
I tell you, yes. Dusk, twilight.
Twilight, even better. The sun is just starting to go down. Main Street has lit up. Everybody's kind of getting ready for all the nighttime activities. But we're going to talk about something else to begin with. So what special thing did we do that we've never done before this week?
So we were very fortunate and got invited to go on a very special non-Disney related tour. One of our listeners actually works at JPL, which is the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is kind of like a part of NASA. I'm trying to think of ways to explain it to non-space nerd type people. The best thing to describe is like mission control whenever you see like any sort of launches and stuff and you see the room that's like super dark with all the screens and everything.
Yeah.
That is at JPL.
Well,
so,
anything that's beyond the moon was the thing that he wanted to make sure, because like they have like a control room like in Houston for like the moon stuff. But yeah, it's like if you're picturing this place in your mind, it looks exactly like that. They all kind of look like that. Mm-hmm. But JPL does a lot of contract work for NASA, and they have some other clients that we didn't really hear about because obviously all that stuff's like probably confidential.
But they like create and design different rovers and satellites that then go off into space to collect all sorts of information and photos and samples and all sorts of really cool stuff. So it was really, really fascinating, like, to think about, like, just in talking with our supporter about what he does there and what all the different departments are. Just different crazy things. Like, right, he is in charge and helps with one of the Mars rovers. And so he's talking about stuff about, like, well, time on Mars and, like, the weight on Mars and how they have to not only design these things to withhold and survive space, they also have to design them based on what the weight and stuff is going to be for it there. And then they have their schedules. Some of their schedules are based on what Mars time is versus like what time is here. So it was really fascinating to kind of take that many steps back to think of all of the different things that they have to consider while working on these projects.
Well, and the amount of things that they're tracking. So what's super fascinating that we did not know before this, but is super fascinating, is if they're basically, unless you're China and Russia, everything that has gone beyond the distance of the moon is tracked in this one room. And so like right now, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are tracked there. Those, of course, are the oldest spacecrafts that are out there. Those are the ones that have gone beyond the solar system and stuff. Of course, you might know the Mars rovers, Curiosity, Perseverance, and those are there. I don't remember what these other ones are, but there were some other ones that launched a few years ago. Anyway, they track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different spacecraft right now that are out there. And like Teresa was saying, one of the interesting things is they talked about the schedule. And because the Mars time is different, like Teresa was saying, their schedule kind of shifts slowly over time because of the fact that time is different on Mars because their days are slightly different. So they get data from 3 satellites around the world. They have one in California, they have one in Spain, and they have one in Australia, which makes sense because you need to have a diverse amount of satellites because as the Earth rotates, you need to be able to aim and communicate with those things. So really super interesting. Also, I would say almost anybody who's ever been involved in any space shows, like TV shows or science fiction TV shows, or notable scientific people, Bill Nye, Neil deGrasse Tyson, think all those types of people, have been to this place. They had a slideshow of all these cool people that had been there, which I just thought was super fascinating. The variety of folks who have come and visited this space.
Different like movie stars or music artists and all sorts of different folks. It was pretty incredible. And now DLWeekly to add to that list.
Right. We're obviously the most important.
Something that was really interesting that they were telling us was they, don't want to take their position with, how they work at this super amazing place and all these really incredible people come through. They don't want to, kind of overstep. And when these people came through, asked to take photos with them. And so what they started doing, which we also got to do, is people are taking photos with the can of Lucky Peanuts. And what are Lucky Peanuts, you may ask? Well, I did not know about this, but I was fascinated. But Lucky Peanuts are basically like good luck peanuts. And they first appeared in 1964 during the Ranger 7 mission. So prior to that, JPL had failures. And I think it was like multiple failures. And
6.
so, because we're on 7. So they had 6 failures to try and do what they were doing with the Ranger 7. And one of the folks, Dick Wallace, who was the mission trajectory engineer, decided, it was very tense in the room because, they'd failed so many times. He was trying to kind of like distract everyone, keep their minds kind of off it, and just do something a little different and fun. So he decided to pass around peanuts. Well, shockingly, the Ranger 7 mission was incredibly successful, and the rest was kind of history. And there was really no reason. They couldn't figure out like what they did differently on 7 than they had on the previous 6. So they just jokingly kind of credited that the peanuts brought them good luck. And so since then, the peanuts show up for all major things, whether it's, a launch or they're decommissioning something or whatever. And throughout history, there were a couple of times that they didn't have it. So now though, it's all the time. And it's not what they say. It's not superstition. It's
tradition.
It's tradition. So we got to
because they're science people. They don't believe in that.
Yep. So we got to take a photo. We got to take a photo with the Lucky Peanuts, and we got to partake in some of the Lucky Peanuts as well. So I thought that was just fascinating. Not something I'd ever heard about. And
Teresa judged me because I asked if we could keep the thing of peanuts because they said they switch them out every day, and I said, "Can we have this one?" And he gave it to me.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because Teresa's like, "What? You don't need the peanuts."
I'm like, Tag's stealing peanuts from JPL. He's like, "I did not steal. I asked," which is true, which is very true. But anyways, I thought that was so interesting. I never heard about that. And actually, like, the public didn't know about the Lucky Peanut tradition until, what do you say, in 2012 they started doing like live streams, and people kind of noticed, hey, wait a minute, they're always passing around peanuts. What's up with that? And so that's how the public became more aware of the peanuts. And I forget who. There was someone that visited and really wanted to, like, quote unquote, meet the Lucky Peanuts. And so that was the first person that had their photo taken with the Lucky Peanuts. And then the rest is history as far as people getting photos with the peanuts as well.
This building is super fascinating to me. So it's the Space Flight Operations Facility. It is designated a National Historic Landmark from 1985. And the most interesting thing about it, to me, I mean, obviously all the stuff inside is super interesting. So maybe not the most interesting thing for me, but one of the things I thought was fascinating was it is fireproof. Mm-hmm. It is retrofitted to be completely, supposedly impervious to earthquakes because it's on a roller base and stuff like that. So they said the only time since 1962, I think it was, or 63, the only time this building has been not manned was when they do fire drills, earthquake drills, which they're required to like leave the building, and when the recent fires had come over the hill, and more so out of respect for the people that wanted to get home to their families who were working there, because there was a lot of fires happening in the Southern California area.
And they were concerned about smoke, too.
Right, and smoke. More so than just like the building would be a problem. They did evacuate for that period of time, but that's amazing that they've had somebody working 24/7 for that long with these like little exceptions.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. A couple other really fun things that we got to go see while on JPL property was they have something called the Mars Yard, which they've kind of recreated the surface of Mars with different dirt and rocks and stuff like that. Kind of did different terrains. They have this kind of to simulate the terrain on Mars, and then so they take the rovers out, and not the actual ones that they then send up into space, but different prototypes to kind of get a feel of different, okay, how do we combat if it gets stuck here, or, you know, it has to go over this or that or whatever. So that was really interesting to kind of see it.
The funny thing about this yard is if you see photos of it, maybe we'll post some photos with the episode, it just looks like a dirt space, like with some rocks and stuff. Like, it's not like you think like, oh, they're gonna have some super fancy Mars. Nope, not at all. The other thing we passed on the way there that I don't know anything about, other than I just saw the sign and thought it was hilarious. They have a sign that says the Extraterrestrial Material Simulation Laboratory.
I'm sure those are the people in charge of the Mars Yard.
Right. But what's funny is Teresa kept pointing out to me, extraterrestrial just means outside of the Earth. Like, it doesn't mean aliens, but I feel like the general population thinks aliens. So it's just funny that to me, it sounds like it's the Alien Material Simulation Lab. They also have a sign, a cute, like, funny nod sign on the door that says Visitor Center, and it has aliens on it, which, I don't know. I feel like the people who work at JPL, all the people we interacted with, have a really fun sense of humor, and they don't take themselves too seriously. They know their job is really important and scientific, but also just kind of like fun. Like, they all seem to love their jobs, and it shows through stuff like this.
Definitely. Another place that we got to go visit was the Spacecraft Assembly Viewing area. So this is where it's like a clean room, so you can't go into the room itself, but they have a viewing gallery up above it, which was fascinating because this is when they're building different satellites and rovers and such. This is the space that they do that in. And
it's huge.
It was very, very large. There was a crane on the ceiling. They had I think it was just a mock, not an actual craft, but they had, some stuff in there to just to view. They weren't working on anything specifically when we went in there, but they had a mannequin, which was, I think, is interesting that they had stuff kind of up so that you could still get the idea of what the process is, even though they weren't currently working on anything. They had a mannequin that was suited up in what their attire is, which even included, I don't know if you noticed this, they had a thing, a cord looking thing around their neck and going over their shoulders. It's because they do a lot of electrical stuff, and so it was a grounding thing.
Yeah. The other thing that was interesting just about JPL that I just saw in this photo that I wanted to mention that I was not aware of is JPL, the California Institute of Technology, is involved with JPL.
Yes.
Are they part? Are they over? They're the
it was something about there's quite a deep partnership and connection. It was now I don't remember exactly what it was, but the head of JPL is the vice president of Caltech.
Right. So this is just a big deal to understand that there's JPL, which has a great relationship with Caltech, but also has a relationship with NASA. But they also do private industry stuff as well. After we got to see the viewing area, we went in. They have a museum on location that has a bunch of stuff like the Europa Clipper, which is exploring Jupiter's moon of Europa. They had a model there, which I think was it was scaled down, I want to say. I don't have a picture of what they said for the size. There was a couple other things there that had a scale to it. But that's one of the things that they're monitoring, or were monitoring. So you can kind of see what that looks like. They had a model of the Voyager. So they had a reproduction of the disc that was sent out there that is to show if any life gets to it. There's also a gold record replica of that. Just so if you've never seen this or seen a documentary or anything about it, they have some there on display. It was super interesting.
They had a half-scale model of the Cassini, which was decommissioned. We actually got to watch a video of when that event happened. but this was a joint endeavor of NASA and the European Space Agency and the Italian Space Agency. And so it began orbiting Saturn in June 2004, and then in January 2005, it actually released a probe that went towards Saturn's largest moon, and the probe landed on the moon, which is pretty darn incredible.
And the probe was Huygens probe, and there was a quarter scale model of that as well, and that is the one that landed eventually on Saturn's largest moon, Titan. So super interesting. They also had, we forgot to mention this when we were talking about mission control, we got to watch a video because one of the times that they were able to land on Mars, they had video footage of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, they had computer
like a
simulation that you could see, but this actually had real life footage of it landing, which I thought was super cool. So
they put basically they called them much fancier than what you're thinking and what I thought at first. But they said disposable type cameras on it.
Yeah, they said a GoPro, but it wasn't a GoPro.
Yeah, but it was a disposable type camera. It was really cool to see and to watch.
You're going to hear the amazing thing that you will not understand until you ever see it in person, but I'm going to let Teresa talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
What is this called? Do you have a picture of what it was called?
Yes. So this substance that we were just fascinated with in the museum is called aerogel. And it is a silicone-based solid that is 99.8% air. It is used on stardust to trap fast-moving comet particles. It also insulates electronics on the different Mars rovers. This was wild. It looked unreal. Because you could, like we just said, 99.8% air, but it was a solid. As you moved around this cube, gelatinous-looking cube, sometimes it would look solid, sometimes it looked translucent. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I thought at times it looked like really small bubbles, like a foam almost, and then sometimes it looked like a gel.
Yeah.
And I wanted to touch it. You couldn't, but I wanted to because
it was in a protective
case. And our
case.
supporters said that it's like a styrofoam.
Yeah, that it feels more.
And I was like, that doesn't even make your brain.
It looked like Jello or something.
My brain cannot compute.
It was just otherworldly, is what it was. Clearly created on Earth, but wild.
It does feel otherworldly.
Wild. Anyways, so we felt so fortunate because they do public tours at JPL. So if this is something you're interested in, highly, highly, highly recommend going on a public guided tour. What we got to do was a little different because we got to go on a personal tour with a friend and supporter that works there. So our experience probably would be different than what the guided tour thing was.
Well, we talked about going on a guided tour.
Highly, yeah. We're fascinated with all the stuff we saw that we want to see more. So we were like, maybe we should go back and do a guided tour too. Why not? So if this is something you're interested in, or something that one of your family members is interested in, JPL was only, what was it, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
From Disneyland. So it's not...
It's a great spot to stop if you happen to be up by the studios or by Griffith Park. It's not far from there at all.
So it was something very unique and non-Disney, but super, super cool if that's something you're curious about.
So afterwards, we had heard from other weekly tiers who had been to JPL, actually, that there was a place called the Black Cow Cafe, which is located kind of near JPL in Montrose, California. By the way, this whole street was amazing.
Cute.
I think you could go to any place on that street. It would probably be really good. We went because first of all, the one thing they wanted us to try was this coconut cake, which I have to admit was probably some of the best cake in general I've ever had. It was very moist. It wasn't overly sweet. It was wonderful. But I also feel like I'd be amiss if I did not mention the pasta that I had, which was a garlic red sauce with angel hair pasta. And I got it with salmon. It was so good. You also got a French dip kind of thing.
Yeah, so it was like a French dip style sandwich. Super delicious I got the salad, which they told us they make all of their salad dressings from scratch there. Everybody, James and I have the same thing. He got fries though instead. Vern had a really lovely potato tacos. That's what he had. Everybody was just raving about their food.
Yeah.
So highly recommend.
Really good diner place, good portion sizes. The service was excellent. So if you find yourself in that area of the state, when you're down by Disneyland, great place to stop.
So moving on to more Disney-related things, we did do Oogie Boogie Bash that evening. However, we're going to wait to talk about that until later. We decided to be kind to our husbands, producers, Vern and James, and so we're hanging out recording in the parks. They're off in the park still having fun. So we will catch up with them towards the end of this recording to talk about their first experience and their thoughts of Oogie Boogie Bash. A couple real quick things that I really wanted to talk about was some of the things that we've noticed in the parks as far as differences and changes. I think the biggest one is the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise has a different, like they rejiggered the queue. So instead of it being going up this, like splitting at the stairs.
We don't know when this happened, by the way.
Yeah, we don't know when this happened. It's new to us. But when you go up the stairs, instead of having, 2 lines starting at the base of the stairs to go up, and then you're in 2 lines all around the upper area, and then you come down the stairs again as 2 lines, it's not like that anymore. It's 1 line, which I think is nice because even though they did have the white line on the stairs, it was very difficult to have 2 lines on the stairs.
So it felt like it moved faster too.
Well, and it feels like it freed up more queue space. Now, whether or not that's actually true, I don't know.
Right.
But it just feels like it flows really, really nicely. So we weren't sure if that was just a one-day thing, but every single time that we've experienced the Jungle Cruise this trip, it has been that same setup.
Yeah. I like it. I thought it was really good. Another comment I want to throw out into the universe to get more information about. So if you're a cast member or you know why, and I know this has been this way for a long time now, so this is not something new, but I'm curious if anybody knows why they decided to switch the horse-drawn carriage on Main Street to the opposite direction around the hub and around the town square than they used to. And
when did that switch though? Because I remember them always
switched
going
for a while.
Okay,
but that's why I said it's been a while.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to know if what was the reason for it. And then the other question I had was the same. And again, this has been years, but it's in the same vein. So I'm going to ask it. Put it out in the universe. Is why did the tram start going the opposite direction as well? That's probably since the Pixar Pals structure, so it probably related to that. But I just thought it was one of those things where I was like, that's very interesting that these things have been reconfigured. So if anybody knows, send us an email, feedback@DLWeekly.net, send us a message on social media, fill out the contact form on our website, DLWeekly.net. Just let us know. I'm just curious. Nothing to report, just curious. One other change we saw that I thought was really amazing that we happened to see in one of the stores was the Jack meet and greet.
Oh, yeah.
This new Jack looks amazing.
This was the first time that we've seen the new, more rounded face for Jack. And Tag, I don't think, realized from either, I don't know if you'd only ever seen stills and not any videos, but he didn't realize that Jack's mouth still moved up and down, which is a great, great add-on. He looks good. Well, part of my problem, I'm still getting used to it because I got so used to what Jack had looked like for years as a face character, so it's almost a little confusing to me, even though he looks more like the movie version.
Sure.
It looks more accurate, but yeah, I just got used to the other way.
So for anybody who isn't aware, the old one used to have kind of like the nose and bottom part of the face was the friend of Jack's face. And then the top was like a prosthetic thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. This one, the whole head looks like I don't know. I think they just, and this particular friend of Jack moves amazingly well.
They do such a great job casting the correct people in the correct roles. That is so true. One thing though, we didn't ever get a chance. Jack and Sally were very, very popular the entire time we were here for good reason, but we never got a chance to go meet them. The only thing I'm curious about with this is now, with it being a full head mask, what his voice sounds like.
Oh,
now.
Sure.
Because he does still interact and he does still chat with guests. But yeah, I'm just curious what it sounds like now instead.
One thing that we tried to do this trip that we've been pretty poor at in previous things, and I will say Teresa and James and Vern have been much more successful at this than I have overall, is eating at places that we don't normally eat at. So one of the places we ate at this week was we ate dinner at the Carnation Cafe, and we had a great spot. It was the table right on the main street,
it was lovely.
And the weather was beautiful. Food was good.
The food was very tasty. You had gotten the catch of the day, which was a salmon. I ordered the patty melts, and the server, you could get fries or fruit. The server recommended the fries, so that's what I got. Very delicious. Also needed to try the famous fried pickles there. Very good. You did not try one.
I was on the fence
waiting.
Well, I wasn't like starving when we went there, and I wanted to make sure I could eat all of my food.
Yep. Vern really enjoyed his veggie burger that he had there. And what did James? He had the fried chicken.
There you go. He thought that was really good. The salmon was interesting because it came out with like a pea puree. And when I tasted the pea puree by itself, I wasn't really a fan. But I mixed it with the veggies that it came with, which I think is like the intention. And then it was very good. The salmon, very good. So I don't know why we always skip over Carnation Cafe. We didn't have a reservation. We joined the walk-up wait list, and we went and did some other stuff on Main Street for a little while, and then we had our call back. So it worked out great. I will say one thing that I'm a little sad about, and I understand that it is, as we record this, the 24th of October. We still have days before Halloween, but the Emporium already has Christmas merchandise.
Yes.
Of course, they are recording, as we record this tonight, they are recording the Christmas special at Disneyland, the Disneyland segment here, overnight, I guess. Mm-hmm. So they have trees up in the hub and lighting and stuff in the hub, and of course the castle is decorated and all of that. So unfortunately, Christmas has come early here.
Christmas has come very early, but that's okay. I understand. I wish that they would use the time between when the holidays start and when Halloween ends, because there's like a 2-week gap, but it just seems like it keeps creeping on earlier and earlier. I get it with having to film the holiday special, but I just wish it could go push back a little further.
Yeah.
Another food related thing that we did was we all ate lunch at the Royal Street Veranda. And I don't know what it was this time around about that menu, but basically everything on that menu sounded delightful. Same thing, we did Red Rose Tavern for dinner. I think we've done Red Rose Tavern for
To be clear, when
breakfast.
Teresa says we, both of those times I think I got something somewhere else.
Yeah, you did. I was trying to be nice, Tim.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure, because like I ended up doing, let's see, when you did Red Rose, I got the Jolly Holiday combo, and it was stuff that I had before. I don't need to talk about it, but anyway.
So over at the Royal Street Veranda, they had coffee fritters, which were so delicious. They were, fritters, right? So they're fried. It was like coffee donut balls, but a little bit...
How coffee-y were they?
Not super coffee.
Okay.
I think you would have enjoyed them. No dipping sauce with them, and honestly, I didn't think they needed them. And the other thing that I had was the roasted root vegetable salad. This was great. The only thing that I was a little surprised about was, since it's called roasted root vegetables, I assumed it was going to be warm, but also it was a salad, but it was cold. Very, very flavorful. There was a dressing that came on the side. I had barely drizzled just an itty bitty amount on it, and so flavorful, so good. Our only letdown here, which I'm sure Vern will talk about at some point, was he got the Impossible Slider. It was $8, and it was a single meatball. So
with 2 little pieces of bread.
Yeah, do not recommend. And he said it just tasted like we've had Impossible products before, and he just said it just tasted like any other Impossible meatball. So that would be a skip if you're going to do the veggie option there. Definitely do that roasted root vegetable salad thing instead. Red Rose. I did one of the Fantasy Fair fold over. Well, actually, all 3 of us did. James got the spicy chicken one. I got the beef one, and Vern, there's a veggie version.
Yeah.
We all really enjoyed it. I, though, made a mistake because it was the night after eating the patty melt at Carnation Cafe, and it was very similar to that. So I should have done, there was a butternut squash flatbread that I was going back and forth between. I should have done that. I did not know that they had the garlic pommes frites, the Parmesan dusted fries at Red Rose now. So that was delightful. We had that. And then Vern and I shared the cookie butter brownie sundae, which was a seasonal item.
How was that?
Gooey.
Oh, that was the thing that you were like, oh no, it's melting.
Yeah, because it's served with ice cream. And
Sure.
I was like, ooh, mistakes were made. We probably shouldn't have ordered that at the same time as our food. So it was a little melted, but it was still very, very good.
I think, talking about ordering stuff, just in general, I feel like this trip we've done really well with our mobile ordering. I feel like we haven't had, with the exception of your thing, did we talk about it on last week's episode?
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, where it got hung up. Everything since then has been pretty smooth. Like, we've been able to move when we've needed to be a little bit later, that kind of thing. We've been able, like, I feel like we've really gotten the timing down of, like, we're here and then, like, showing up. Like, we didn't have to wait too long for a lot of things. It seems like it's working really well. Yeah.
We've been it's been a very good trip. I feel like our crowd levels they've kind of ebbed and flowed, but we've had a lot of low, like, daytimes are definitely lower. Right now it's Friday night, so of course it's getting much busier today. But, like, what was that? Was that Tuesday? No, Wednesday was like this perfect.
Wednesday was wonderful.
It was like the perfect Disney day. There was hardly any lines anywhere.
Felt like an off season.
When we did have lines, we started actually timing lines, because I think Rise was the first one we did it for. Rise said it was like 65 minutes. And we're like, that doesn't look like 65 minutes. And Tag got his little timer going. We went through the whole thing. By the time we got to Ray, or maybe it was when we got on the transport.
It was like 25
it was still like
minutes
20,
or something.
like somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So less than half of what the time said there. Now, there's been other times, like last night, we went on Space Mountain. It was posted at 40, and it was
40.
Solid 40. But it seems like we've gotten lucky that when it's under, it's way under.
Today has been like that too. So again, this is Friday that we're talking about this. So it's been a little bit busier today. We did something a little, just to kind of give you an idea, the context of this. We did something a little different today. We decided we're all of us kind of wanted to do different things today. So for the first time ever, we all individually split and had good chunks of today where we were kind of solo in the park. Teresa went over and did some stuff, which she'll talk about in a second. Well, no, I don't want to speak for you.
Oh,
you can talk about what you did.
It just sounded funny. Teresa went and did some stuff.
I was trying to time lines today when I was doing stuff, because, like, what else was I doing? I didn't have somebody to talk to. And today, almost everything has been about what the lines have said. A couple things to note that I just want to tell people, because I didn't know, because I don't do single rider very often. I had to ask a cast member, so I want to pass this information along to future single riders. If you do single rider for Indiana Jones, they don't have a sign for it. You have to ask at the podium, and they'll give you the tag. They require that you wear it around your neck. It's a big thing. And then when you get into the attraction, you line up with all of the DAS, the Disability Access Service line people. You don't walk past them. You line up with them. And then the cast member, when there is room in the single rider line, they will come and pull you out of that line. That's why you wear it around your neck and put you that way. Because I asked the cast when I came out, I said, I was in that line. They came and grabbed me. Was I supposed to be in that line? And they said yes. So that worked a little differently.
Yeah.
Then they put you in the regular queue. They basically merge you with the regular queue at the Sala room, I'll call it, the safety spiel room. And then they require that you get in the left side of the stairs when you go up and over. And then when you get to the bottom of the stairs where you would normally be sorted into a vehicle, they pull you to the side. And then they'll kind of pull you into the vehicle. So that's how that works. So totally different than the other stuff.
Yeah.
Space Mountain, first thing in the morning, like, I mean, we got here at like, what, 10? Like 9? I got in about 9:45.
We had a later start to our morning.
But I went over to Space Mountain pretty much right after I got, I'll tell you that story in a second. And there was nobody in the single rider line for Space. Nice. So like, she handed me the thing, I went right in, I got right on. And it was like a 35, 40-minute wait. I went again later in the day, and there was an outside line, and they were just holding it there, and they don't give you the little tag until you go into the building. And then James will have to talk about single rider at Tiana's, because he did that twice. I don't know what that's like. I didn't do it. And then, what was the other single rider? Oh, and then the single rider for Smuggler's Run. Pretty self-explanatory. They actually have a line for it, and you go in. And this was something we learned, because James and I both went to single rider Smuggler's Run. The cast member said they're the only single rider that allows you to do pairs. Oh. So you could go in if it's just two, like you and me next time.
That's good to know.
We can go, and they will allow you to be in pairs.
So it's kind of like the Monsters Inc. Buddy Pass.
Yeah. So we didn't know that till we got up to where she would normally like pick one of us.
Yeah.
And she said, do you guys want to go together or separate? And I'm like, you could go together. And she said, no, this is the only single rider where you could do two. And then it was funny because it ended up getting off because there was a mom and her young kid, adorable child, loves this attraction. And his mom was drinking her coffee drink and couldn't go, so we kind of just adopted this child. And he was so cute.
That's what James was telling me about this.
There was two other people on the attraction that had never been on, didn't know what to do, and the kid was trying to like talk them through all the stuff to do. It was adorable. Anyway, those are the little tips with single rider that like I didn't know because I've never really done single rider.
Something that I've become very, very aware of this trip, and it became even more obvious this morning to me when I had the morning to myself. I have become a, what was that woman's t-shirt we saw that was like, that's it, vibes over rides.
Yeah.
Park person. I spent my solo morning in DCA because I really wanted to spend some more time at the Animation Academy. And when I wasn't in one of the animation classes, I was just walking around and taking in and soaking up DCA, like to the point that I did like 2 laps around all of DCA in between, like I did a lap, did a class, did a lap, did a class type thing.
Sounds like a perfect morning for you.
It was wonderful. Like to the point that I was like, I should have paid attention to what my step count was when I entered the gates to when I left the gates, because I just walked basically all morning. It was lovely. And then came over to Disneyland, and just this week there wasn't any entertainment offerings much during the week.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to save up all of our entertainment experiences, like the Dapper Dans, the Disneyland Band, the Pearly Band, those sorts of things. Had to save that all up for Friday for today because they just we're in the off season, right? So they're not doing everything Monday through Thursday. A lot of it saved for just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, and with Sunday being our first day, we were very focused on checking off the rides. There's something about like the first day that you feel like, I'm not gonna have time to do anything. So yeah, so that was the rest of my day.
Yeah. We'll have to talk to James and Vern to find out what they did for most of their day. But mistakes were made. So this week we have a rental car. We talked about this before. We parked at Mickey and Friends this morning.
Oh, yes.
I decided, I was like, okay, I have always dreamed of having a solo day in the park, but now that it was an opportunity to do it, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay.
To the point, we need to back up even further. So Tag had this idea yesterday, like maybe it was James had this idea.
James had this idea.
So let's all split up. And so Tag's like, yeah, Teresa, you can go to the Animation Academy. Vern, you can do all your entertainment stuff. James really wants to go to Batu. And then I looked at Tag and said, well, Tag, what are you going to do? And what did you say?
I said, I don't know, I'll just go hang out with James at Batu.
And all of us are like, no, you always want a solo day. Take it. Now you're like hooked.
I am hooked a little bit. There's some downsides to it for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But starting at the beginning.
Sorry.
So we decided at the tram station, I said, you know what? I'm going to take the monorail in.
I think that was a great
I love the
idea.
monorail, and I wanted to ride in the cone, and they had said earlier in the week that they only do the cones in the morning or in the evening. And I was like, well, perfect opportunity. Well, my walk over to downtown Disney, glorious. It was beautiful weather. Everybody was moving at a decent pace, whatever. Mm-hmm. I get over to the security checkpoint. There are 3 security lines.
Yeah.
And I think everybody who has a stroller went this way because they didn't want to deal with putting it on the tram.
Oh.
So this was taking a long time because they have to search everything in the strollers. This line was not moving at all. So I took a picture, I put it in the Discord, I sent it to Teresa and Vern and James and said, this is my line, I think mistakes were made. Teresa then was like, we're on the tram. Like, it's beautiful on the tram. I texted James, I said, can you text me when you get to Main Street? I just want to compare, because we were going to be separate. Mm-hmm. When did you get in versus when I got in? Well, I didn't even get in through security, and James is like, we're on Main Street. Oh. And I was like, well, this was terrible.
But you got rewarded because...
Yeah, so I got through it. I went to the Matterhorn station. There was really nobody there. Got to ride in the cone, which was awesome. I think today there's a Make-A-Wish event happening here today because there's a lot of Make-A-Wish people in the park, and they were filming some stuff too, which I think was Make-A-Wish related back in Galaxy's Edge. Not wearing anything that said Make-A-Wish to me in the cone with me was a family with a little girl who, from her appearance, I think had cancer or had gone through treatment for cancer. And so it was me and this family, and I took their picture because like they were trying to do a selfie.
Fun.
And I took a picture, and it was like the indie backstage, and I said, can we just wait a second? Like, the front will be here in a minute. It'll be much better. And the pilot of the monorail was like, oh, yeah, it's much better. Great suggestion. I was like, oh, I feel good about this. I also found out on the monorail ride that it takes 4 days of training to pilot the monorail.
That's it?
Well, they get trained on monorail stuff and then like 4 straight days of just driving the monorail.
Got it.
But she was too busy piloting to answer other stuff that I had questions, or she seemed that way. She might not have been, but I didn't want to harass her. Got to Tomorrowland, decided I wanted to go to Galactic Grill, found out that Galactic Grill has Pib. So I was very excited that they had Pib. Maybe I knew this, but I had forgotten
I thought we knew this.
Well, Coke Corner has Pib, Galactic Grill has Pib, and I want to say some other, well, Pim has test. Anyway, so I got they have a breakfast like bagel thing. Very good, got that. And then I went over and did my single rider Space Mountain. Then I went and did the Matterhorn. I also did Waltz of Magical Life. And then I did like Indy. I went back to Toontown, but the line was way too long for Mickey and Minnie, which I wanted to do. We got together and did the Royal Theater, which was really nice. But it was good. I had a really enjoyable time. The only downside for me was I like to like share an experience with people, and I found myself like texting, like I'm doing this now.
Yeah. I did it a little differently. So my DCA stuff obviously was solo. I was the only person that had the ability to hop.
Yeah.
So I did my DCA morning completely solo, and that was enough for me. And I was like you said, kind of like wanting to do shared experience stuff, and I was also very interested in doing entertainment things. So of course I found Vern right away because he was also trying to do entertainment stuff. So he and I just bopped around and did entertainment stuff together the rest of the morning, and then
I ran into James twice, and he came up behind me in Galaxy's Edge. It kind of startled me. He was then going on Tiana's, and I wasn't doing that, so I went and did my own thing. And then I ran into him again later at the Princess Fantasy Fair because we watched the Tangled version. All four of us got together later in the afternoon and watched the Beauty and the Beast version. And then we also split again and went and did some more stuff, did lunch and stuff differently. But we decided to get together because the rest of our night, we haven't done it yet, but the rest of our night is we're going to go eat some dinner. And then we're going to watch the fireworks because all week they've only done projections. So we want to watch the fireworks on Main Street. And then our plan is to hit the 10:30 Fantasmic, which I talked to a cast member about to make sure I knew where we could sit tonight because he said a lot of the spot is still dining reservations and whatever.
Sure. Yep.
So we got that all covered. So that's hopefully the rest of our night this evening, right?
Mm-hmm. Join us next week while we continue our conversation and invite the producers to share their thoughts and experiences on some of the really fun things that we got to do this past trip. Well, the holidays are quickly approaching, and we'll be sending out postcards again this year to all of our supporters at the $3 and above levels. If you're currently a supporter on Patreon, please log in and make sure that your address is up to date so that you receive your card. If you'd like to get a postcard from us, please head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier to get on the list.
It's okay. I'll be the only weekly tier without an answer. Make sure you send your questions to Producer James or Producer Vern at trivia@dlweekly.net.
Hello, welcome back, folks. I've got 4 answers for you for 4 questions I enjoyed picking up in the park. And I can't wait to tell you more about my park experience. But that's a week away. Usually I just tease for like 45 minutes from now with trivia questions.
45 minutes from now, like at the beginning of Trivia Land?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Isn't that about how long the discussion topic is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because we record back to back. Anyway, I will not make you wait. Let's get right into it. My first question I asked was, what is the tower by Soarin named? And you both got pretty close. It is, in fact, named the Mount Muir Lookout.
Oh, wow.
Named after John Muir, who was really instrumental in the Park Service, right? Like coming up, like protecting the
state Park Service.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're right. It is right across from a quote of his that is on the building right there. So,
boom.
Prominently featured throughout. Question number 2. What signs are in the forest with the Cheshire Cat in the Alice in Wonderland attraction? The prominent signs are the forest that you correctly named and added. Technically wasn't in the forest, but I'm going to give you points for knowing exactly what the forest name was. Anyway, the signs inside are this way, that way, up, down, yonder, go back, which way, and then watch and out are split signs that are right next to each other.
As you said those, I could see them now. But in my mind's eye, when we were trying to come up with it, all I could see was this way and that way changing with the lights.
Flips. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were pretty cool. So Some of them repeated throughout. Really a nice effect. All right. Third question for you was, what's the name of the fort on Tom Sawyer Island? You two did not overthink it like I thought you might. It is indeed Fort Wilderness.
Good job, us.
For once, you held on to the gut
We
answer
did,
and
yeah.
didn't talk yourselves out of it. So
I think because we had no other thought.
that does help, right? My last question is, I asked you to put the toys and tools the scary/vampire Teddy is holding throughout Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Does he have a name, Teresa?
It is Scary
Scary
Teddy or
Teddy.
Vampire Teddy.
Oh, I thought okay. I was thinking like a name.
Nope.
Oh, like Fred? No.
Yeah.
We
Not-
can call him that now, though.
Yeah. So I wanted them in order of appearance. I was going to give you a list, but you two just started naming them. So the list that I had for the 5 was bell, fishing pole, lights, horn, and hammer,
Good job, Tim.
which means Tay got the correct
Yeah.
5 of the fishing pole holding the spider, the hammer, the bell, the string of lights with the wire sparking, and the horn at the end.
In fairness, I never would have gotten the fishing pole because I don't remember seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Fun little detail. If you don't catch it, you miss it. It was the joy of riding my own doom buggy on that trip that I was able to see that and be like, this will be fun to ask.
There you go.
Taking pictures in the dark with my phone was not so much fun to verify all of that. So needed a little help from a ride POV to confirm the horn at the end. And that took some time to find because everyone just wants to go from the graveyard to Oogie Boogie,
Yeah, it's true.
which explains probably
You know
why
what
there
the
was
trick is,
Especially
James?
this year.
The trick is do a search on YouTube for
A
Haunted Mansion
360
Holiday
video.
360, and then you can see
Absolutely.
everything.
Yep. Exactly right. So I know producer Vern and I are very excited to have some trivia ideas from our trip to the park, but those only last us so long. And you may be in the park, listeners, at any point and see something that you think is great to ask. So let us know. Send us trivia questions so that we can keep asking them to Tegan and Teresa. Just head to our website, dlweekly.net/trivia.
Well, we will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
And a special thank you to Sidel for editing the podcast and also to Andy Mack for all of our wonderful character transitions.
All weekly tears, prepare to be stepping out to your right.
Steady as she goes.